It was just, you had to believe that a man could get pregnant. You had to believe, you just fill in the blank. COVID saves lives. If you don't agree, you're a Nazi. Like, you're always a Nazi. Everyone's racist. Everything's racist. Everything's Nazi. Now, of course, Mark Levin and all these people, everyone's a Nazi. Everyone's a Nazi. You don't support war in Iran, you're a Nazi. They're literally doing the same thing. They're doing the thing that we all made fun of the Democrats for. Like, this whole weird coalition came behind Trump because the Democrats were so insane. It was so just, we're going to say things that we don't believe and that we know are not true because our team needs the win, and we just have to do it. We have to do it. And that's what is happening with the MAGA movement. Welcome to Loaded Talk. I am your congressman, the third most popular candidate to be. With us, as always, the return of...
What's up, planet Earth? I'm Bean.
Garbanzo Bean!
I was wondering what you were coming with.
Well, we still haven't fixed this issue, so he's still squished and around, and we don't have to take anything he says seriously. That's what happens when you're squished and around, Charlie. These are the rules we play by. This is Trump's country. I don't know. I guess he's tall, so he's not squished, but he's pretty round. Well, speaking of Trump succeeded with all of his primary endorsed candidates the other day. Unfortunately, one of the people he primaried was Thomas Massie for the crime of not wanting to deficit spend and not wanting to go into war without congressional approval. And he thought you should do things like have a congressional vote on a wartime action, or not spend so much money that you go broke. And he said, hey, if you want to pass no tax on tips and overtime, I just wrote it in a one-page bill. Let's just vote on that. And he said, hey, there's another policy you like. I wrote it in a one-page bill. Let's vote on that. Doesn't add anything to anything. It's like the big, beautiful bill. It was like, hey, why don't we strip this down some so it still has the things that you like in it, but for example, when Doge identified all the waste, fraud, and abuse, let's not fund that again. Let's subtract that amount from the funding we're going to send there because they don't need it. Because that was just waste, fraud, and abuse. So we shouldn't fund that amount. And then maybe this other stuff that we're finding, and well, I guess they didn't have it at that point. But still, like maybe make a couple cuts here and there and get it so it wouldn't add trillions to the deficit. And anyway, that makes him a Democrat, according to Trump and his cronies. But the MAGA movement is so wild to me. Because they act exactly like the Democrats did when the Democrats got so far over their skis that they lost the culture battle. Republicans are just so much worse at being the in group that they lost it in a year and a half or whatever. And but yeah, the reason that comedy and musicians and athletes and all these people during this last election or turning on the Democrats, it's because they were so ridiculous. It was just, you had to believe that a man could get pregnant. You had to believe, you just fill in the blank. COVID saves lives. If you don't agree, you're a Nazi. Like, you're always a Nazi. Everyone's racist. Everything's racist. Everything's Nazi. Now, of course, Mark Levin and all these people, everyone's a Nazi. Everyone's a Nazi. You don't support war in Iran, you're a Nazi. They're literally doing the same thing. They're doing the thing that we all made fun of the Democrats for. Like, this whole weird coalition came behind Trump because the Democrats were so insane. It was so just, we're going to say things that we don't believe and that we know are not true because our team needs the win, and we just have to do it. We have to do it. And that's what is happening with the MAGA movement. It's, it started slow, but now it's just, what's that weird Laura Loomer? Looks like Mask,
The Loom of Doom.
The Loom of Doom. Is that an actual horror thing? Someone like...
Nope, that's what I came up with.
Nice.
Because it's all she has is nothing but doom.
Yeah, and plastic surgery. I picture someone just making a blanket, but when they're done with it, there's going to be problems. The Loom of Doom. But you ever see that movie Mask with Cher? About Rocky whatever?
Yeah.
Like the disfigured...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what Laura Loomer looks like.
Wow, that is very accurate.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that I don't like looking at. She looked better she was ugly, but she looked normal ugly, Like before the plastic surgery. She wasn't like... somebody might have found her attractive. I don't know. Not my type, but now it triggers my uncanny valley. I can't look at that thing. That is a weird creature. It's a weird creature. What is a woman? Am I right? Huh? Nah? What are we talking about? So this weird like cult of personality, blind faith, just repeat the words. This is why we need a ballroom. This is why we need a ballroom. This is why we need a ballroom. Whatever it happens to be, war with Iran is a good thing and we're winning. And it's good that, like, the gas prices is just a temporary thing. And boy, when it's over, we'll be so much better. It'll be great because the Strait will be open and Iran won't have a nuclear bomb, which will be different than February 27th when the Strait was open and Iran didn't have a nuclear bomb. And we'd already bombed their facilities. Like that first run, not crazy about it, but you go, whatever. Like if we take out the facilities for Iran, they have that threat. We talked about it. We had our expert on who was a very level-headed fella who said that basically it's that thing where they go, hey, we're going to bring it up to this level so that if you decide to cause problems, we could have the material in 2 weeks. We're not going to do it. We don't want one. We find it to be immoral and against our religion, but we're afraid that Israel's going to invade and U.S. is going to help unless we have some sort of thing here to negotiate with. So we took that out. And you go, I don't care that much. Okay, fine. Like Iran loses some leverage. Boo-hoo, there was an exit ramp from it, so there wasn't... To date, there was no real side effect from it. We took out a bunch of stuff. Nothing really happened. They made a claim that they won somehow or scared us off somehow, which is cool. Whatever. They called us, said we're going to shoot a bomb near you, but it won't hit you, so just be careful. They did that. We said cool. And so anyway, it's one of those, like, I just don't feel strongly on it. I feel like, yeah, overall, whatever. Just whatever. We probably shouldn't have done it the way we did it. But now that it's done, boo-hoo, they can't make a nuke. I don't care. But then we had to then we shut down the Strait of Hormuz and all this stuff to stop them from getting a nuclear weapon, which I thought was the reason of that first thing. And when we left so quickly afterwards, I thought it was because mission accomplished, and there was no additional evidence that they had built anything new since then. And then we bombed a couple girls' schools. And we did other stuff too. We bombed lots of other stuff too, but it's, we took out their planes and their ships, but now somehow they're still ships. We took out all their navy, but they still got ships right now somehow. And you go, So everything's BS coming out about this whole damn thing. But anyway, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Like, it's good. Trump's good. This is smart. It's like, well, inflation went up 3 point whatever %. That's good. That's a good number. It's like, well, the target's 2%, and good inflation is 0. But okay, inflation's good. It's 3% over last year that had a number that was a positive number that was above the year before that had a positive number. But so like we're growing, we're building on the Biden inflation, which was bad. And we're just adding to it, but now it's good. We're continuing all of the Biden era funding, all of it. We shut down this, we shut down that, and we shut down this. But the funding numbers are consistent. What is that? What are you talking about? It's like, we're closing the Department of Education. We're going to fund it at the exact same level. Well, what does it do? It's like, we don't know anymore. I don't know. We'll do something. We'll do a study on what it does, and we'll use the money to pay for that. It's just this unserious, like he's got some priorities he wants to see. It's not clear that they're not just to set up him and his family to get rich. Like the Iran thing, cool, I guess. Israel wanted it done, obviously. He had a lot of backing from a member of the IDF and Miriam Adelson? Is that her name?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And billionaire, and had a lot of backing from some other cats. Peter Thiel's a big fan too. Well, at least of JD. But anyway, he owes some money, or lots of money went towards his campaign from people who are one or two of them are dual citizens in Israel. So there's that. Which, it's not crazy unusual, especially once you're rich and you want to travel a lot and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's like, was a member of the IDF, dual citizen, and here's a big check, and now Trump's just doing whatever. And his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, from Lake City, Florida, she should be, her dad's, what's his face? Like Jim Nance or somebody like that.
Really?
Yeah. Her dad's like I think, is it Jim Nance? It might be. Somebody like that. If not him, it's somebody like that. But anyway, yeah, just a Lake City gal. And, but she's huge into supporting Israel too. And, so we got to do it. But it's like, what, our prices are going, like our fuel is obviously through the roof. It's affecting groceries. It's affecting that, like it's affecting everybody. He says it's not part of his calculus, the American people and their financial situation when negotiating. That should be part of your calculus. I'm not saying you should cower and go, well, we're going to lose the war because beans are expensive. But for real...
Hey.
You're a classy bean. But no, for real, military action... Okay, here's a good question. What's the point of the U.S. military taking military action? Just generally speaking, what would you say?
To defend?
If it's defensive, yeah. But so it's, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. But it's, for one reason or another, it's for the good of our country, right? To defend us from evil is really the point, right? That was what the founders intended. Evil, quote unquote, but just, people trying to take our land, hurt our people, and we say, no, you don't, And then it's kind of evolved from there, protect our interests, So somebody goes, we're not going to let your ships trade. Y'all can't go to this hemisphere. We're going to block you with our boats. And so we go, yeah, our Navy boys are going to have something to say about that. We're going to protect our interests. We're blocking major trade routes. It's making everybody more poor at home. What interest is this addressing for the American people? Not fuel costs, not food costs, not Iran doesn't have a missile that can hit us. They maybe had one that can hit England because they go, oh, they shot that one. I go, okay, maybe they did. That's the thing. I don't even believe it. Like, they go, oh, they shot that one and it hit wherever, proving they do have missiles that could hit Europe.
It hit France, I think, right?
Well, they shot it at a different direction, but the distance could have hit France, right? My whole thing is, I'm not French. Like, no offense, I don't care. Like, I mean, I care. I don't want anybody hit, of course. And I'd like to go to France before it's bombed away. But they're not going to hit France anyway because it's full of Muslims.
That's a very good point.
So what do you do? Attack France and England and kill only Muslims? But it's like Paris and London have been bombed. 2 white people are dead. But not like, but for America, they can't hit us. They can't hit us. They go, oh, well, they can hit our bases. It's like, well, yeah, we surround their country. We've gotten so close. Of course they can hit our bases. We put our bases so we can hit them. Like, we're close enough for a reason. Like, if we don't want them to hit those bases, we can move them. Excuse me. If not, they're military bases. I thought a military base was something you'd be able to defend with your military. Like when you play fort, you know?
Right.
Your other friend attacks your fort, and then you attack them back, and you just say, stay out of my fort. No girls allowed, you know? So that's what we go. Hey, no Iranians allowed. And so they shoot a missile, we go, psha, and we shoot it down. I mean, is it a military base, or is it a suburban neighborhood? Like, they can hit our bases. I don't want people to hit our bases, but they're military bases set up in foreign countries to prepare us to attack or defend attacks from foreign forces. The whole point of their existence is confrontation, like violent confrontation. So yeah, they can hit our bases. That's not hard. They could do it with a rock, you know? So anyway, they can't attack us. They couldn't before. They can't now. The strait was open. Now it's closed. They already, from our first run, they couldn't build a nuke. They didn't have a nuke. They didn't want a nuke. And they still don't today. And now we're arguing over, I don't even know what we're arguing over. Because the last thing that it looked like they were all going to agree to was Obama's plan that Trump said was the worst plan in the world. I mean, dropping pallets of unmarked cash with a helicopter, I think that's a step too far. I think the agreement to, like, if they go, we're lifting sanctions. Okay, you lift your sanctions. Sanctions normally mean that the money's trapped in a bank somewhere and they can't get it out. So if you just go, I've removed the trap, the lock is broken, just let them go to an ATM at that point. ACH, we don't need to give them unmarked bills of varying countries' currencies. That was stupid. That does facilitate buying horrible things. Why would you want a bunch of unmarked bills of various currencies? It's only to buy things cash that can't be tracked. You know?
Correct.
Come on. All right, so that was stupid. But beyond that, like you agreed to let our inspectors in to inspect, and I don't know if they were inspecting or not. Some people say yes, some people say no. Whatever. Stupid plan. All right. It seems like that's the plan that Trump's coming up with right now. It seems like what we're going to be entering into is the JCPOA 2. And,
but we blew all their stuff up.
Yeah, but they have to promise they'll never, ever try to make it again.
Why don't they just make it in someone else's country?
Right. You don't even they've already been made. You just have to buy them.
Yeah. With the unmarked bills that we just gave them.
Well, no, that was during the Obama years, so I think they've spent those already.
Yeah.
But, Pakistan, I don't know. I'm sure there's things floating about. Russia might need a little cash. They've got plenty to spare on the nukes.
It is funny. It's the one thing that I agree with Iran about is the fact that they don't like nukes. I agree with that, but that's about it.
Yeah. They have a fatwa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so, but yeah, go ahead.
I think it's to strain the whole world. I think that's what this is all about.
Bringing the whole world to a knee, or what?
Yeah, to need their own respective governments.
Oh, you think Trump's trying to get like European nations to get involved, and until they do, he'll just keep everything locked?
Well, I just think they're all working together, and that it's just like everybody will be like, please, government, give me my lower gas or give me my groceries, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. And like the other thing is, well, the longer we sit there, the more that we're selling American oil for huge prices a barrel. So it's a good surge to the oil economy. You know, in America, and people can't get over yonder. Though Iran's even started transporting stuff by land to get out through I forget, one of the neighboring countries. Where they basically like, oh, we got a land path now. We'll take rail. We'll just move it all. Which, you know, it's not as effective, or they would have done it already. But they had like sort of a land path that kind of went dormant, and they're like, yeah, we'll just use that thing again. It's going to be something more than nothing, but it's not going to be. But yeah, I don't know. Like it could be oil dollars. It could just be sit there, keep the oil prices high, and then midterms are November, right? So I guess, yeah, you get through summer. Oh, you time it for the 4th of July and the 250th anniversary celebration with the UFC fight on the lawn, and you make your peace agreement just right before that. Gas prices drop. Freedom is good. America wins. Pew, pew, pew.
Wow. You're right.
And then you ride that wave with all your newly elected Republican candidates in your newly drawn Republican districts, and you rock that thing all the way to the midterms. People will just be relieved about the gas prices. Groceries maybe will drop, who knows. But people will be relieved about it, and then they'll forget about how high the prices were for a second. Maybe that's when Trump rolls out his Doge rebate checks. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but it's all good. That's MAGA says this is good. MAGA says everything's good. If Trump says it's good, it's good.
Yeah. Hey, MAGA, we just hit $39 trillion in debt, so
It's good. That's good. That's good debt, because what Trump's doing is he's making deals, and he's going to bring up the economy. And so even though we're spending a lot, he's going to bring up the GDP. So suddenly, the amount of tax revenue coming in is so great that now we're not spending at a $1 to $2 trillion loss per year. Now we're at a gain because we're so productive from the influx of capital and investment.
man, that's quite the pipe dream.
Crack pipe dream. But no, I mean,
where's Hunter at?
yeah. But I've literally heard, like, that's the strategy, is like getting all this foreign investment, all these people coming in. It's going to just spark we're investing in AI too, which will, be the next industrial revolution. And just our economy is going to be such a futuristic, just roaring engine that even though we spend a lot and we have not cut 1 cent ever, that soon it'll just be, even though we're spending, $5 trillion on the year, we're going to bring in $6 trillion. We're going to double. I think we're like 3.5 or something. 3.5 or something is what we bring in tax revenues. We're gonna double that number up. We'll be so productive.
Okay.
Yeah. Step 3, profit.
As long as private credit doesn't drop out, that's fine. No worries. No worries.
How did we get love bugs in here? For anybody that doesn't live in Florida,
It's the love. It's the love. That's what it is.
The love bugs are horrible this year. They float around. They're connected at the butt, so there's always two of them, and they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They just swarm and stick to you. They're the worst. Anyway, so yeah, all the MAGA cult, they got together, and they said, Thomas Massie, you're no good. You're a dirty Democrat, because you only vote with Republicans 89% of the time. And you only have an A-plus conservative record according to the whatever conservative thing. And you're only an A-plus with the NRA, and an A-plus with this group, and an A-plus with this, right-wing group. But you voted no a couple times Trump things, so you're a Democrat. So they poured, Trump said, get him out. He took a lot of his money from his PACs, poured it in the district. APAC and associated groups friendly with APACs, people that maybe APAC donates to. It's all, PACs can just give willy-nilly to one another. It's just a whole sleazy network. They poured money into it. They waited till the last minute kind of surprise, saying that he assaulted some woman. She came out, he wanted me to do deviant acts. When I said no, he got angry and fired me. And then the person she was actually working for did come out and go, first of all, Thomas Massie's a good guy. He's a gentleman. Second of all, she was within her 90 days, and she was not renewed because of behavioral stuff. And around the same time, of course, she was also in a thing saying that her husband was trying to stalk her or assault her or whatever, and she dropped that one. So anyway, she was not. Oh, and also she's running for office right now. It's school board, but it's in Florida.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So she, this kind of thing can raise one's stock, and I wouldn't be shocked if this will be something to watch between now and November, because she doesn't have great fundraising. I think she just loaned her campaign more money, which is, whatever. But it'll be interesting if she gets some favorable donations after this, and they'll play it off like, well, we're just so grateful that she spoke up and spoke her truth, that we wanted to support her campaign. But it'll be what it is. And what is this, May? So she's got, anything that she was given right now won't be reported until the next quarterly filing. So they poured in all this money. Unfortunately, Massie lost by 10 points to Ed Gallerine, a potato that just avoided every debate, no-showed every debate, wouldn't answer questions about debating, wouldn't answer really anything. He stuck to his little stump speeches. He's a Trump potato. He's just there. He's like, I'm a Navy SEAL. It's like, well, you were 100 years ago. I wear a vest. You sure do, fella. But he's just going to be a rubber stamp. It's one of those. There's some people that go to Congress trying to get rich, some trying to get famous, and some people are going just to keep their head down and just have a steady job. You get some cushy benefits here and there, decent salary, and just whatever, go along to get along. Yep.
Well, is the salary high enough? Because, old Johnson said that we should have empathy and let them stock trade while they're in office to feed their families.
Well, I'm okay with getting funds and stuff. I think buying the individual stocks, especially when it's the people that you meet with, and it's the insider trading. It's insider trading, I will say that the whatever it is, $185,000 that they make a year is less than it seems when you're maintaining when you gotta maintain two locations. But a lot of people get away with it by sleeping in their office. It's probably not ideal. Like that one guy from represents East Tennessee. That's all about the aliens and stuff. He's a lot of fun. His hobby is making skateboards out of bamboo. He goes, well, I go down to the synagogue on Covington Pike Parkway or whatever. It doesn't matter. He goes, and they let me cut the bamboo out from the back of the synagogue, and then we get some old pallets, and use those, and then yeah, he like makes skateboards, and so he's given a couple away where he's put like designs on. He gave one to Tulsi.
Burkett, is it Burkett?
Yeah. That old guy.
Really?
Yeah.
He makes skateboards and he's into aliens.
Yeah.
This guy's wild.
And he apparently he's like, yeah, I like to skateboard. He's like, I just no tricks. I just straight line, But you're like, well, don't fall. You're way too old for this, you know. But yeah, he's a interesting fella. Like he was on Rogan. It was a fun listen. He's daggum. But yeah, that was great. But yeah, he just anyway. He's like, I sleep in my office and I take a shower in the gym because of the congressional gym. They've got like obviously a nice setup and they got showers and stuff. But that's the thing. If your goal is to spend as little time in DC as possible, which should be your goal, crash in your office or whatever, rent a cheapie, But because you could rent a cheap apartment, put a bed in it. I mean, maybe not in DC, but wherever, right outside. So there's ways to make it work without it being hugely cost. But most of them buy a place, so then they're maintaining 2 households, and they keep the one in their district to legally be able to run. I mean, they live full time at their DC one because that's where the grease is. That was the swamp Trump said he was going to drain until he realized how much power and money was located in that swamp. And then he said, why don't I just be Shrek instead? I'll be Shrek. JD will be my donkey. And we'll get some parfait. Everybody likes parfait. Yeah, so here, let's look at Massie's. So this is Massie's concession. No, don't you start yet. Hey. I didn't tell you to go. I'm still clicking buttons. There we go. So he comes out with his little cell phone, filming the crowd, which he did post to the Twitters today.
All right. Listen, I would have come out sooner, but I had to call my opponent and concede, and it took a while to find Ed Galrine in Tel Aviv.
Crowd like it.
I did get the call through, though. I have called and conceded the race. We've been honorable the whole time, and we're going to stay that way.
All right. So you can see it. You got a little joke in there. Now people like, Ted Cruz, like, I really wish he hadn't said this. And like, yeah, all right, but well, let's dive into it a little bit.
It's kind of a threat. It's kind of a threat.
But Ted Cruz saying, I mean, at this point, they don't need to threaten him because he's out, But here, this is how much, according to APAC, or Track APAC, Ed Galrine, who's not even in the House yet, has already received $15,544,205 by pro-Israel PACs. $85,000 in legit donations because there are donation limits. And then individual expenditures of $15.5 million. $15.5 million spent on his behalf.
On this guy.
Oh, the potato. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I looked around this Track APAC, and it is so hard to find anybody with even $1 million. Like some people, like Hakeem Jeffries, so New York, Speaker of the House. Wait, is he New York? Anyway, yeah. Anyway, Speaker of the House. He's had 1.5 or something. Though you don't need to donate a lot when you're in a safe district, But a lot of New Yorkers, what's this? There's a couple people that were maybe $1 million, a lot of $500,000. So I didn't look all around for too long. They also don't need to donate a lot to the eat the low hanging fruit that's going to do it anyway. But 15.5 is crazy. That's so much money. And this is a little rural district in Kentucky, you know? And so the Trump people, the Trump loyalists are trying to dunk on Massie because everything they're like, oh, he's a fraud, you know, because these left-wing Muslim dudes, I forget his name, him and his family, they started sending a lot of money to his campaign. And he was like, oh, look at that, Massie's in with the Muslims. He's in with the Muslims and the donors to the Democratic Party. And you go, well, first of all, that's the same. They're the same people. It's just one family. They're Democrat donors and they're Muslims, but it's not two groups, you know. But what happened was when AIPAC fired up the cash machine and Trump said, "I hate that guy," rich people in other places were like, "Well, we should back that guy because if he's an enemy of AIPAC, then he can't. You know, we can see eye to eye on a couple things. You know, like just don't blindly do Israel's bidding in just ransacking Muslim countries, you know? Because that's what I want, is for America not to do Israel's bidding. If he likes that too, and they're trying to take him out because of it, let's send them some money. And so that's what happened, you know? And so, but the way politics always is you always have to pick an artificial start line. Like, nothing happened in history before this moment I'm going to talk about right now, you know? So it's like, liberal Muslims love Massie, and Massie loves Muslim money. And you go, so nothing happened before that? It's like, nope, Massie's just a Muslim guy. Loves the muzzies. And it's all nonsense. So now this, I don't know who this human is. Oh, that's just Eyal Jacoby. I have a feeling. You Penn grad, MIT student, 24 years old, seen on CNN, Fox News, Washington Post.
What an interesting picture on your profile.
Yeah, I'm staying with Trump. Couldn't see this yet. Anyway. But he posted this thing to basically call Massie a hypocrite. Where he goes, he didn't even get most of his money from Kentucky. So it's like in Kentucky, you got 224 people in Kentucky donated about $225,000 to him. People in Florida, about $343,000, including myself.
Good job, Florida.
Texas, $354,000, and California, $436,500.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, rich people. That might be where the Muslim dude lives. But yeah, so they're like, he got most of his donations from liberal California. He's not a man of the people of Kentucky. He's a man of the other people. A man of the Muslims. He probably has a prayer rug. Word on the street is Massie he only slaughters his cows to be halal. Okay. But anyway, but once again, so this is one of these charts where they go, yeah, see this? Like,
Just seeing the other comments are just great. Like Martha Bueno.
yeah, the crybaby. How much ads came from Kentucky? That's a great question. But real quick, the other thing it says on here is total contributions between January 25 and the March 31st, 26. That's the end of the numbers we have because we don't have the next quarter's filings, of course. $5.5 million, right? He's got $5.5 million. Kentucky, you know, $250,000 basically dollars. That's how much a congressional race in a rural part of Kentucky at most should cost you. You know, like maybe $1 million. You know, it's not a lot, especially as an incumbent. But like, this is not, you know, it's not Manhattan. It's not Tampa, you know, like it's not one of these things where you can get somebody with deep pockets coming in. And Ed Gowering doesn't have deep pockets, but his friends do. So that last screen we looked at, do you remember how much he got from AIPAC aligned people? What was the number?
Well, it was most of it. I mean, it was $15 million. Yeah.
$15.5 million versus $5.5 million total for Massie. And I guess you could say, well, this doesn't show the packs and ads that people bought for him. I can't imagine he had support from an additional $15.5 million from people just buying ads on his behalf. You could say, well, Tucker Carlson gave him airtime. Okay. Ed Gallery didn't get airtime because he didn't want to talk to anybody. Ever.
But he somehow got more money.
Because he's a potato. Potato with a yarmulke. Yeah, he doesn't have a yarmulke, but he'll put one on for a price. $15.5 mil.
He's going to be putting one on now.
Oh, my God. Okay. So he's going to win, obviously, in November because it's Kentucky. How soon, how many months after November?
This is going to go on Poly Market.
Yeah. How many months after he's elected until he's at the Wailing Wall? November.
2 months.
2 months. Oh, January.
It's going to be a New Year thing.
So he's going to get inaugurated, fly out, and get one of those pictures where you got to touch the wall and you look real moved by the wall.
Gotta put your little blessing in there.
Listen, fine. I'm fine with people going, putting in their blessing. My old super Catholic Terry, she went in, she made little blessings for all of us, little things. She put them in her thing and did some stuff and whatever. And I don't know if it was there. There's all sorts of places where you can pray and do stuff. It's Jerusalem. Some things have occurred there. But just all the politicians that are just they go up to it and they go, oh, I get that photo. I'm just so deeply moved to be here right now. I even put on a yarmulke because
I got my boy BB next to me.
Yeah, it's definitely not because anybody's aiming a gun at me. It's anyway. And I'm not even talking about Jewish people wearing a yarmulke. I'm talking about these, all these politicians. Go, oh well, put on a yarmulke, touch the wall. It's cool. I don't know. I don't. It's just such vapid nonsense. It's like AOC going down to the border wall or to the at a chain link fence. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Y'all are all playing the same stupid game, and it's just so irritating. But okay. So once again on this thing, they're trying to dunk on him. All these people chipped in. It's like, well, what happened first? It's like, what happened first? Because these are contributions to his campaign. So these have max donation limits, right? And even I think the average is something very small. But what happened was billionaires lined up to say, take that guy out. Mainly for his views on a foreign government. And people from around the country said, we don't like that. And so they sent money. And they sent money from all over. Because a lot of people all over didn't like it. I mean, if you add up these percentages here, 13, 14, 20, it's like these top 4 states are still only 25%. There's another 75% that came from all the other states, And Massie puts it proudly on a map. He shows where all the individual donors are coming for. It's because he's a federal congressman. His votes affect the whole country. And people appreciate someone who is principled, who he does obviously stand up when it's tough, because that's what got him voted out, was just saying, hey, can we please do this in a way that doesn't violate everything I ran on? And they would go, shut up and vote for it. And be a good team member. And he's like, well, I can't because I made promises. And I can't turn back on my promises I made to the people who voted for me. And
what a concept.
I know. Unfortunately, a good chunk of the people that voted for him are stupid. It's not that they're stupid. It's that, well, they're stupid. It is because they're stupid. It's because they're stupid and they're easily manipulated. And they watch too much Fox News, and they believe anything that is spoon-fed to them from Donald Trump and anybody else. And so they got their little bluegrass redneck asses, and they got swindled. A bunch of rich Jews came to town and swindled the whole town. Tell you. What do you got?
The irony is hitting my head right now as far as, what you just said is just like, yeah, none of that makes any sense.
It is crazy to think because, they didn't run ads saying he's opposed to Israel. He's not a friend of the Judaism or anything like that. They were just like, he's a Democrat. And then later, like, after his wife died, he hopped right in the sack with this gal. And
That was so ridiculous.
they have been, Trump specifically, has been so rude about this dude's dead wife. And don't get me wrong, the rate that he got remarried to someone he'd known for a long time seems a little quick to me, but whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, I got engaged to my wife very quickly after meeting her, just a couple months. A little crazy, whatever. Things happen. There's also sometimes, like, especially when you get older, and there's considerations that people make that are different, especially when you got kids. I've known a number of people who say, well, I don't want to be a bad example for my kids and cohabitate with a gal if we're not married or at least engaged. That was something that was one of my positions. Was I didn't want to, I'm going to invite a gal to live here, at least engaged, and that's what I did. And so I don't know what Massie's things were. I don't know when these two got together. He made it sound like she was very supportive and stuff after the death and all that. So all I'm saying is, if you got something come out and say it. If you go, he'd been slanging it all over DC for a while, and like he was banging somebody the night of the funeral, and like he's a dirty dog. It's like, okay, like give us something. But if you're just gonna be like, seems a little fast to me, it's like, Donald Trump, you wrote in a book that as you were walking down the aisle to get married to your second or third, whatever, I don't know. I think Melania third or fourth?
Who knows?
Yeah, whatever. And that's the other thing. You're on like 3 or 4, whatever. But on one of these weddings, as he's walking down the aisle, he thinks to himself, I'm already bored with this. He wrote it in the book. So like, you walk down an aisle. I guess that's in the very beginning. Like, the wedding hadn't even begun. You could just walk out the back door. But you're walking down to get to the front of the aisle. And by the time, like, in the process of just going from the back of the church or wherever to the front of the venue, you go, I'm already bored with this one. And then you went through the ceremony, vowed to be with her forever. And obviously you didn't.
Right.
And so it's just like, I don't know, for Donald Trump out of everyone to be commenting on marriages, the sanctity thereof, it's ridiculous. And I don't, the fact that he can't see, like, it just, it takes some stones. And obviously, Trump's never been afraid to say anything about anything. But it's just like, I don't know, glass houses, man, glass houses. So they succeeded. What we've learned through this process, and I know, I get it, sour grapes. I did like Thomas Massie. He was a libertarian-leaning fella. So, yeah, I'm a little sour that he lost. But I'm more so sour that while being so transparent about it, that a group of billionaires and the president could just target a political opponent, barely an opponent, and just go, I'm going to take this person out for disloyalty, for not, for having the temerity of individual thought. One of 454 congressmen. And it's like this one guy having independent thought is just the end of the world. And so they said, we're going to target them, pour billions into it, not even hide it, not even like pretend like there's some grassroots effort. Just go, we're taking the district away from you. And then succeeding. And the fact that they pulled it off, it just makes me so like sad for our country, because it's one of those things like, you know, Libertarian Party, we've always been small, and it's been hard to overcome the duopoly and hard to overcome all the regulations in there meant to squash new perspectives from getting out. But Massie was part of one of those squads. You know, he was a Republican, and he was an incumbent, and he was a popular incumbent in his district until a couple months ago. And the fact that they could just, billionaires can just buy it away, and buy away what was a good congressman just because they want to, and because they're swimming with cash, 15 million, ain't nothing to them. The fact that they can do that is just insane to me and very disappointing. And like, it makes you wonder, you know, you watch this team sport thing grow. Who's that fat jerk from North Florida? I think he took Matt Gates' spot. He's a big fat Jewish guy. Randy Fine. Like, he's an idiot.
Very big idiot.
Like, he's an idiot, but he is a loyal Trump guy. Everything's yes. He will say bold, stupid things just to back the team. He will illegally vote for other people, as he was caught on camera doing. You know, but we're getting these just the two parties are becoming more uniform in groupthink. Not that they weren't always, but there was some. You know, they go, oh, these are blue dog Democrats. Like, they're Democrats, but, you know, sometimes they vote for war things. And, you know, these Republicans are doves. You know, Ron Paul, he's not going to vote for war stuff. You know, there's moderates and all that, but it's all kind of going away. And it's, you know, you just get two flavors of people. Like, we're getting down to just two flavors. And they're all controlled by billionaires, and the same billionaires, by the way. Like, AIPAC doesn't just donate to Republicans, you know, they donate all over the place. And same with all these other billionaires. They put a little money here. They put a little money here. They hedge. That's what you do with investments. You hedge. You go, I think this guy, but just in case, this guy. And it's just, I don't know. It's where the system is failing. The system is failing due to corruption, obviously. But we are, as a country, the legislative branch is deferring so much to the executive because they don't actually want to be answerable for anything. They just want to be there forever, collect their checks, get their suitcases of cash, and just be there forever. So you go, just president, you make the calls. Executive orders, you know, we'll put some stuff in the spending bill that was already going to pass anyway because it's $1.5 trillion, and no one actually is going to go through this thing at all, ever, for any reason. And if we do, we're not going to cut anything because then we'd have to explain to somebody why. And one of these other people will say we did it because we hate children or elderly or minorities or gays or somebody. And then they'll just label it with us and we'll have to carry it all the time. And quite frankly, that's exhausting. I don't want phone calls. So I'll just go along to get along, whatever you want. And so, like, all of our Congress, minus maybe a couple, and I don't even, all of our they lack stones. They don't got stones. There's a couple that might, and really some of the ones that got them, they're fighting the wrong fight. You know, I don't even support them. I like it when they fail, but it's like, you know, AOC's an idiot, but she just can't help but say stupid things. But there's times that, you know, she refuses AIPAC money, and though she's
supposedly,
yeah. And I don't know. She's been, I don't know, Bernie sometimes is good on some things. Fetterman sometimes is good on, I don't know. But it's one of these things like, I don't know. There's a few that will buck the system, but they barely buck it. And normally they have a pretty cozy landing spot, you know? It's one of those, like, performative deals. Like, we all know you got to be performative as long as when time comes, Papa's waiting, you know? And you need to make sure you do what Papa say, you know? Oh, this is just for you, Charlie. This is just a little treat for you. Don't read anything. So somebody was just asking, I forget, Trump for an update on something. My present to Charlie.
It's interesting.
I'm right now at 99% in Israel. I could run for prime minister. So maybe after I do this, I'll go to Israel, run for prime minister. I had a poll this morning. I'm 99%. So that's good. But I'm
Hey, one more time, Charlie.
right now at 99% in Israel. I could run for prime minister. So maybe after I do this, I'll go to Israel, run for prime minister. I had a poll this morning. I'm 99%.
Huh? Pulling 99%.
One, why are you polling if you really did?
Well, somebody's polling.
I don't have anything on that. That's terrifying.
He's just so popular. Get out of here. He's just so popular. He could be prime minister of Israel because he's so popular in Israel.
But they have a prime minister.
He's got prostate cancer.
Yes. On the surface, he does.
No, the prostate's inside.
Well, yeah, but yes.
Go ahead.
I don't really have. That's just wild to me that he would just. I mean, and he's also wearing the blue tie. Like, that was timed.
Honestly, I think a part of this is a troll. I think it's kind of a being what just got pulled off with all that APAC money and stuff. I think part of it's kind of an FU to be like, you know, you say what you want, but I'm so popular, I could go over there and be prime minister. So I don't know. They love me, so I think it's a troll. But it is just one of these ridiculous things where you go, come on, man. Like it's something. It's my little gift for you.
Wow.
Love bugs. They're just love bugs. It's not the CIA. Or is it? Is it, Charlie?
The 99%. I want to know, like, Israel. What do you really think?
Yeah, pull up a tab. Search Donald Trump poll Israel 99%. See if anything pops up. He does just make things up sometimes. Trump says he could run. U.S. President told reporters outside. Told. Where's the poll? Just click on that first one, the Trump one, the Independent. Let's see if they cite it anywhere. Popularity.
He didn't clarify which poll.
The president did not clarify which poll, but it would make a stark contrast with his approval rating in the U.S., which hit another low in a second term. Let's see. Trump was responding to a question about the war and his relationship with old Netanyahu, who he described as a great guy. Go ahead.
Dude, that's his third term. That could be his third term.
I think, well, in a different clip, when he was talking about buying icebreakers from Norway, he did make that joke. He's like, they say he'll deliver them in 28. I'll be here in 28. Maybe I'll be here in 32, but I'll be here in 28. But yeah, he could do his third term as Israeli Prime Minister Donald J. Trump.
Satellite president, you know? Just because, I mean, the influence is obvious.
He'll become a citizen because he'll have this Trump resort in Gaza. The waterfront Trump resort in Gaza.
Wow.
Oh, man. Did you hear about the flack about Israel's Pride celebration?
No.
So, I guess Israel, they have a Pride celebration like many Western nations. They do it, I guess, beachfront locations, right?
Okay.
but it's like I don't know if everything's centralized there, if things kind of, but it's about what was it, like a 20-minute drive or something from a little place you may have heard of. Probably the location of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Okay.
So a lot of sodomy near Sodom. But don't worry about that. Nothing bad happened in that story. It is a wild one when you think about it, because, like, I don't know. I know even people that aren't religious, but you just got to go, like, just maybe, like, say you're traveling, say you're a gay dude, and you go over there for the pride thing, and you just think, I'll take it easy. I'll have a nice time, but maybe I won't have a full dance card, if you know what I mean. It just feels like you're playing with fire a little bit, you know?
More ways than one.
Yeah, like fire coming down from the sky and smiting an entire people. Oh my God. Do you know what needs to happen, obviously, is there needs to be a drag show with some very tall drag queens dressed like angels, right? They need to be very good looking, right? And then they need to hide in someone's Airbnb located near Sodom, and then a big group of guys needs to come around and then bang on the door and demand that they let the angels out because they got to know them, you know, biblically. And then we'll just see what happens. God. For real, if there's any gay dudes dressed like angels being chased, like, go to the bunkers. Go to the bunkers. It's time to go to the bunkers. We've read this book before. We know what's coming. Go to the bunkers. All right.
This totally means that Massie should run for president then. I mean, this is leading right to it.
Well, there's a big push for that. And someone asked him to run for governor before, and he said, I'm going to run. He's like, I won't even think about any of that kind of stuff until I win re-election. And part of the thing on being governor of Kentucky is like, well, if I can't win re-election here, they're probably going to sink me for a statewide, you know, because if they're going to sink me in my district, I obviously won't be able to carry it. You know, president's interesting that you have obviously the whole country, but getting through those primaries, you got Peter Thiel back in J.D. Vance and whatever he's doing, right? You got Marco Rubio, and we don't know if they're going to go against each other early on and then maybe join together for a super ticket, or if they're going to just come out of the gate and go, you know, whoever takes it. Second term for J.D. Vance because if it was Marco as the lead, he's already been running the entire federal government. You know, so it's one of those things like you got a good argument there. He's been around longer than J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is a little younger. It would only, you know, he's only done one term as VP. Most people before they get a crack at president do two, you know, and so it's just like, all right, well, you'd be a 2 to 3 term vice president and then get a crack at it at that point. Or if it's one of those things where, you know, J.D. Vance has been out there, whatever they decide, you know, but odds are those two are going to be a ticket, right? And, you know, Marco's he's got his own billionaire connections. And that's the thing. If you're Massie, you got a lot of, you know, you got a Ron Paul type run, and you'll get the young people. The olds don't like you, but you get the young people. But it's hard to get, I mean, you can get into a top 3, maybe even stay in there for a top 2. But can you get the states if you have multiple billionaires backing different candidates? Because, I mean, he should have been able to carry Kentucky. He lost by 10 points. 10 points. I mean, that's a massive loss. What was that?
Sorry, it just came out.
But yeah, so I don't know. Like, I would, I mean, yeah, sure, I would happily vote for Massie. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, because they'll just do this in the primaries. They'll call him a Democrat, and he'll say, I voted with Republicans most of the time. I got an A rating. Now, the difference would be that they can't skip out on debates, or maybe they can, depending on how they're polling. Trump showed that he could, but he had one president before, which is kind of his argument. And El Galrain showed maybe you can. Maybe that's a new thing. If you're polling high enough, you just don't show up to debates. But I don't know if that'll work for a Republican primary for someone that's not named Donald Trump. Because, I mean, he was polling at something substantial, you know. But then you also have, like, DeSantis will be in there. And I don't know what kind of billionaires he's got. I know whoever ran his campaign last time better not run it this time because it'll end exactly the same, poorly. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. If he got on the debate stage, I think it could be good. But they always make rules. If there's too many people, you know, only the people polling above X percent, you know, they always cut people out. So,
what about the pissed off conservatives that are mad about how Trump is just completely, rug pulled everything?
I don't know how substantial that is. You know, conservatives, I don't know. I mean, if you get, like, you're talking about independents, like independent voters who came to Trump who weren't voters previously. Rachel's dad's one of those guys where, like, he was like, all right. Even he's kind of cool. He's like, oh well. Like, he didn't vote, like, ever before. It's like, I'm going to vote for this guy. He's, you know. But they're just kind of like, I don't know. Everything's corrupt, and they're just Trumps are getting rich. They are the swamp now. You know, so I don't know. I know, you know, quote unquote MAGA supports a huge percent. So, like, the Fox News viewing Republican base, however you classify that, I mean, they're highly supportive. But yeah, I think independents are not highly supportive. But you got to get through the primary, you know? So primary goes through Fox News, and then after that, with the general, you got to try to get the independents and carry your base. I don't know. It's a lot. I mean, hell, if Massie runs, I'll toss him a couple of dollars, buy a koozie or something, you know? But right now, I just feel so not enthused about federal elections because obviously they can just be bought. They can just be bought, and nobody cares. Congress doesn't care. They barely want to do anything anyway. So they're not going to stand up for it. So our system, the way our system was built to sustain was the founders thought, all right, well, senators were named by the governors, right? So the governors get elected, and they go, you know, the two most Florida mofos I know, send them up to D.C., have Florida's back, and whatever's going up there, you know, speak. And then Congress people were farmers and dentists and doctors and whatever, just locals in the community. And said, let's do it. And then the president was, you know, executive plans, but he was not supposed to be as powerful as he is now. Has a direction, has plans, but kind of a manager of the things. Congress is supposed to decide how money is spent, which is a big part of doing things, is spending money. So the president goes, I'd like to do that. They go, we're not going to give you 1 red cent for that. And you go, okay, I guess I won't be doing that. And the thought was, people will be corruptible, but they'll probably be corruptible and want to maintain power. You know, you're not going to give up your senatorial powers. You're not going to give up your congressional powers. I just realized I forgot to pay myself today. I saw the thing about payroll. And I go, oh, I didn't pay everyone. I didn't pay myself. I'll need to fix that in a second. I'm gonna have a
just call APAC.
There you go. Did I ever tell you how much I support Netanyahu's wars of defense in foreign countries?
I have not heard this.
They're just, and they're important for America. And if you're a Christian, you have to support Netanyahu's ideas. It's very important for Jesus. Anyway, so the thought was none of these people are going to give up their power. So like if the president goes, I'm going to try and take some of Congress's power. Congress would be like, psh, step off. You know, like I'm going to defend this power because what? I'm going to be up here with no power? That's stupid. They didn't anticipate everyone being cowards and going, yeah, I don't want to put, like, I don't want something challenging. I want something easy. This is easy street up here. We're not looking to do much. We don't want to do things. We want to do what the people with the money tell us to do. Lobbyists say, you should support this. And I go, okay. Another lobbyist says, I got more money. You should think this way. I go, okay. That's all I want to do. And it's a lot easier if I can just, it's all on a spending bill. If you put a billion things into one bill, I can find a couple things I support in there. I don't like that, but I do like this. You know, veterans. Veterans. They sacrificed so much for us, Charlie. Why do you not want to support the veterans, Charlie?
I love the spin. Yeah, with every bill, it's just the same thing.
It always is. It's just, it's like, I don't know. If not for this, grandmothers with Parkinson's will bleed out of their eyeballs until they cease to be. And I cannot stand for that. Maybe you're okay with it, Charlie. Not me. So anyway, our system no longer works like that. We've got a bunch of cowards. They don't want the power. They would rather have the easy street. I don't know what to do about it other than, I don't know, focus elsewhere in the Fed. It'll never happen because that's what bankrolls them. But I guess the answer really is trying to focus local and maybe do, oh shoot, what is it called? The, I've just blanked on the damn thing where you get all the governors to vote and then they rewrite parts of the Constitution. The Convention of States. And maybe that's part we need a Convention of States, put in term limits, put in whatever else, you know. Maybe if the executive branch abuses their authority, I don't know, we could beat them with broomsticks or something. Or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Get rid of the interstate commerce clause. Yeah. Different things. There's different things. But, you know, maybe a Convention of States is what we need.
I like it.
I've been thinking about that I've been supporting the concept for a while. And there's a Convention of States organization that's been trying to lay the groundwork in different states, and it's going very slowly. But I think we need 35 states. And then basically the entire Constitution's opened up, and every state has one vote, I want to say. So whatever change you want to make, you say, you know, blue state goes, get rid of the Second Amendment. Well, you got to carry, I think, 35 states to get that done. Or it's a majority. But I think it's 30 or 35. And so, you know, it's just one of those, like, you're not going to make... You probably won't make something super controversial, but there might be some things that people can agree on. That's kind of a limit, like a check on authority. Maybe. Who knows? But it'd be governors. It wouldn't be senators deciding it, you know? All right. Well, follow us on the things where we do things and we put them places. Rumbles and YouTubes, Spotify's, Apple stuff.
I saw us on Prime the other day.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, we're on Amazon stuff. We're all over the place. You saw us on like your TV or like on...
When I was looking through different channels, I was like, oh, there's a podcast tab. Let me click Loaded Talk. Oh, there we are.
There we are. There we go. You can watch us all sorts of ways. And we're beautiful. Not Charlie right now. He's a garbanzo bean. But normally we're beautiful. I'm still beautiful. I'm not a garbanzo bean. What do you got for the people, Charlie?
The Grok fact of the day for today, May 21st. On this day in 1927, American aviator Charles Lindbergh completed the world's first solo, non-stop transatlantic flight, landing the Spirit of St. Louis at Le Bourget Field in Paris, after 33 and a half hours in the air.
He did it.
He flew 3,600 miles from New York with no radio, no parachute, and only a few sandwiches for food.
I mean, you could plan the sandwiches, but I guess 33 hours, a few sandwiches would be all right. And then he went back and threw his baby away. He was like, you know what? Flying's so stressful. I'm throwing away this baby. They never did solve that, the Lindbergh baby. I think he threw it out of the airplane because it wouldn't shut up. He said, ah. No, I don't know. All right, that's it. Tune in next week for more talk of throwing babies out of airplanes.